Uh, there we go. It is back up, and at that last statement, the general said that he's going to grant mercy, since that is what the Chantry of Unity preaches, and looks to the party, or rather to the three new members, and say, I trust with my guards that you can extract the information you need from these individuals. When you see fit, we'll find a proper dungeon for them to lock them in for the rest of their days. Until then, though, my wind is your home. He bows to the members of the Unrepentant. Then looks back to Nykirin and says, throw them back in their cells when they're done.
Wait, you're saying mercy, but I am going to kill Elena. They are going to help kill Elena. That is what they are supposed to be doing. So you need to let them out so I can have them do that. When I am done with them, either Elena kills them, I kill them for lying to me, or she is dead and they survive. The survivors you can talk about putting in cells and things like that. Maybe they will have earned some freedom.
At that, you're going to see the stenographer run up to the general and say, hey, he makes a good point. And, I mean, even if they break off and, try and fight their way free, I think we got a good chance of following them to Elena. You put a patrol on them, and he's like speaking in a low voice. And it says you put a patrol on them. What's the worst you can do? Ogun can roll a persuasion check with advantage. The 5 and 16 would be your advantage, as it rolls it twice for you if you don't, tell it to roll once.
Oh, okay. So 16 it is then.
Yeah. The general is going to rub his head and say, I didn't ask for an additional task to come walking into my fortress. I've already have the magnate's throne asking me who I'm supporting, and now the Eye of the Mountain is gone.
You're not asked for a task. Let them go. I take care of the rest.
He's going to nod and say, how many forces do you need to keep them under control?
Me.
Ogun said me?
Yeah.
He's going to roll an insight check looking at Ogun and say, look, these prisoners weren't my watch before this morning, and they won't be my watch after it. They leave with you.
Good. He looks at the stenographer. That's Ogun. Get this down. 3 strike, Maddest Wolf, Dawn Eye, First Wind of Angayando. Very important. It's straight.
You're gonna see this guy nod and start writing. While it looks like he had been taking notes the whole time, it does not appear that there was anything written in his book as he starts taking down your titles. He asks you, what was the third one again?
You suck at note-taking. Dawn Eye. Or Maddest Wolf if you're not counting. Yes. How do you...
He writes it down properly. And
good.
Puts a dash into it and says, "Will be watching prisoners."
Yes. Pats him up.
Here's a question. Why'd you sound so... I'm sorry.
I'm gonna bow to him and say, the wave crashes upon the shores, brothers. And I motion.
So it's not time? What do you mean? Speak plainly!
What? I was just going to comment on, why do you sound so angry to get your way? Like, you got what you wanted, yet you sound so angry about it.
Well, that's easy, my friend. He just needs Umiya in his life.
The
No, you misunderstand. I am a little tired of all of the Yimigami. And I lived the first part of my life on a very tall mountain at this low altitude, then high altitude again.
That's a lot of altitude.
Oh yes, I was living on a very tall mountain.
The general is going to.
When I'm.
The general is going to have the guards. Each. Well, no, only one of them would. He's going to remove his keychain, handing it to Ogun, which bears the key for the restraints on the manacles on each of their arms, and he's going to say their stuff is the items that the wardens brought with them are currently in the armory. My fortress is at maximum capacity between supporting the pilgrims on their sun servant tour that Lady Nakart sent up here, the forces that we have to constantly sustain in the region, and now these extra mountain wardens lodging inside of my wall. The whole goddamn country is going to shit.
Complain. He starts unlocking people. Lead to the armory. Let's go. And the bear.
The Brigadier General starts walking and says, "Wow, you're much more trusting than I would ever be with these."
This is not trust. If they betray me, I kill them. Very simple.
I turn to them and say, "Trust? No."
I mean, it's easy to trust someone who doesn't have any kind of solid form of alignment. But yeah, just saying, I wouldn't recommend trying to kill me.
I end up kicking him in the seat just to shut him up.
Were you kicking me?
Yeah.
Go on then, try it.
Roll it, sucker.
It is a unarmed strike against him. You are proficient with unarmed strikes, BT dubs. Oh.
Yeah, no, that hits me. That definitely hits me.
You have to roll 1d20. If you just roll 20, it's always gonna roll 20.
Oh, is it 1d?
Yes.
That would have been.
But that was an amazing roll. If it would have been it.
That's still good.
That's one over. Wait, you're a humanoid. Let me see if I get. No, I don't get AC bonus to humanoids. Damn it.
That doesn't include the 4 to my dexterity bonus.
All right. So Ogun is able to go around this room and unlock most of, or rather free most of the, well, all of the people that have been imprisoned here. Skari, Anston, Soulmane, and Alward would all be unshackled. As soon as Nykirin is let out of the stocks, she is going to stumble before finding her balance and say, "I'll just have each of you know that I never would have broke if it hadn't been for your convincing. My will is strong." As Ogun is freeing the party, the scribe is going to say, General, I permit that you'll allow me to travel with them to write back and update you on the progress of their venture. He's gonna look at the scribe and say, you want to travel with them. He's gonna look at Ogun and say, well, he, of course, the unrepentant would need all the assistance they can get in this manner. Why the prisoners almost outnumber them 2 to 1. He nods and says, I'm not gonna have to send an extra soldier to protect you, am I? He shakes his head and says, no, certainly I can hold my own. He nods and says, alright, by nightfall, I want the lot of you out of my fortress. I won't have damn saboteurs blowing it up like Westwind. The scribe bows and says, certainly, General.
Does the scribe look shifty?
You can roll me an insight check. Just base. You're going to be able to tell there are things off about this scribe. He doesn't. First of all, he has taken significantly. Not only did he show up here late, but he has taken significantly less notes than he should have been taking while people were talking. Most people, while this guy looks like charming and like capable to handle himself in a fight and just looks like you're a charismatic adventurer, most people with this type of demeanor or even the willingness to fight wouldn't find themselves in the position of a scribe. You can definitely tell that this guy is impersonating this role. However, the general waves off the rest of you and says, come on, we'll head towards the armory. The scribe is going to say, while you guys are walking, why are you so involved in these prisoners? Simply transferring their stuff to the armory and transferring them out of here can be a process that I take care of myself. The general is going to say, Seth, our General Kalir didn't keep her fortress, or didn't keep a tight lid on her fortress, and saboteurs blew up the entire thing. I don't intend for the same to happen around here. Every little detail I will be involved in. The scribe nods. The whole time walking, Fractus can see occasionally the scribe and Skari, or the scribe and Anston will share a look with each other, and then he'll approach the general and try another line of questioning to get the general to leave.
Just wondering, does me or Solane recognize that as the fourth of the blue, whatever their name is?
You can roll me an insight check.
Speaking of the scribe and all this weird behavior, if he's asking the general again, and since Ogun saw him taking shitty notes, is it insight to go like, okay, look, I've been to a college, I know what scribes should act like, this guy sucks. Would that be insight or something else?
That's you already beat the check, or rather you already know his notes are bad. You can say that publicly. You can insight to see why he's so bad at it. A 24. Alward is going to have the snapping recollection that you guys did send Rosaro here to plant an identity inside the fortress. However, there's no way to tell what his appearance is like, but this scribe is 100% nicer to you than anyone else has been here. It is very likely to assume this is Rosaro.
Okay, I'm going to use my silent speech, and going to look at well, and say, sorry, I know what the name of that group is, but I can't. But OC doesn't remember it. What's the name of that group?
You guys traveled with them for nearly an entire week to the mountains. They call themselves the Blue Band.
Okay, so using my silent speech, I'm going to talk to presumably Rosaro, and I was going to say, Blue Band drops pen.
Blue Band dropped pen?
Yeah.
Is that like thieves' cant or something?
No, it's me saying like Blue Band drops pen. Like if he's Blue Band, he'll drop the pen.
He is going to look back at Alward as he is as he's walking forward, tablet in hand, quill, ledger, and scribing tools at his waist.
Quill even, you know what I mean.
Yeah. He's gonna go to dip his quill, the whole time pleading with the general, and it's gonna slip out of his hand before he catches it as it floats down. Ogun is going to
chuckle a bit.
Ogun is going to realize this guy is just really, really, really bad at being a scribe. He should not be arguing with his superior this much. He should be taking better notes, and they need to hire better people at this fortress.
Is the guy wearing like any weapons or anything like that?
He is dressed in elaborate. Like aristocratic robes. That you would actually let me look at his clothing real quick so I can describe him to you better. Yeah. So he's got a bellowing purple cloak on, and he's dressed in blue and gold overrobes, carrying his tablet in one hand, and he's got a chiseled chin, like a well-trimmed beard going all the way down and connecting around his chin and back up to not necessarily mutton chops, but sideburns. You guys are going to arrive at the armory outside of the dungeons. As you do, the general is going to be talking to the provisioner there and explain what happened down in the dungeon. They're going to pull out several bloodied items several items that are covered in either dry blood or dirt or grime. The party members have their gear returned to them.
Howard looks happy, but still like iffy and uncomfortable.
Alright, he's going to point to the scribe and say, Nightfall, out of here. Check in with me every hour until then. He nods for his two honor guard to follow him. He walks from the armory, going into the upper reaches of Westwind, or Northwind.
So is there anybody around?
It is just the party plus the blue band. The scribe is going to look on his flip through his ledger and say, "Oh, it appears that their caravan was also confiscated out of the Flame Gate. It has been transferred here. We should return the horses and carriages to them, as it'd be easier for us to travel as a group with such means."
Well, the caravan's well, the caravan's good and all, but it's just Kara.
Where's the bear?
He nods and says, "Oh, yes. He's staying with the mountain wardens outside of the fortress. You guys were prisoners, but the general doesn't let any enemy combatants into the fortress. Not since what happened to Westwind."
Okay, fine. Lead the way. Go.
All right.
I thought I asked him to bring out the bear.
Yeah, you asked them to prepare it. This is a large fortress. This is like the size of a small town. It wasn't something he could just immediately do for you. But Scrive/Raseril is going to be able to lead you guys to where the mountain wardens are staying. The whole time as you're passing through this fortress, people are turning and looking at you guys. Like, you are drawing glances from every soldier here. You pass a large mess hall. It is packed with the people eating here. This fortress seems to be at maximum capacity. Coming out of the dungeon, it is a surprise that they even considered keeping you here, as it's hard to get through some of these corridors without every 10 seconds you'd be passing shoulder by shoulder with another patrol of guards or civilians from the region that are staying here. Regardless, though, you guys are able to exit the barracks, and exit the fortress and head down to the barracks, which sits just between the icy bay and the fortress, within the walls built around the bay. Knocking on the barracks. Entering the door is going to be one of the honor guard that you guys were fighting. As he sees the party following behind him and with the new members, he's going to say, "What in the bridge?" Raseril's going to raise his tablet and show the page that he took that the prisoners were released into Ogun's care, and say, Brigadier Wind General Frostsun has seen it fit to allow the prisoners into the care of the Chantry. They are going to lead us towards Elena. We need their livestock. The warden does not at all seem pleased about this. And he says, "They were working with the people who killed the Eye of the Mountain."
My eyebrows gonna shoot up at that.
Now they're the people that are going to kill Elena. This is maybe the same job, just picking a better target this time. Go get the livestock.
He grumbles and walking out into the cold wind of the icy north, and you're gonna see him walking towards an adjacent building onto the barracks. It's got it itself is shielded from the wind, and there is actually a open hearth in this place, as it is kind of like an outside pavilion. I think that's the proper word I want. He's going to walk into this building, and you're gonna assume he's rousing your guys' livestock. But as he's walking away, Solmane's gonna say, when I was running, or when they were carrying us off, from what I saw, the Eye of the Mountain was still alive. That man shouldn't know if he's alive or dead or not.
There's assumption? I don't know.
Rosero turns to Soulman and says, yes, but you guys should be properly reprimanded for what you have done. And you can certainly see to it, or rather you can certainly believe that I'll see to it personally that the penalties of your actions are brought upon you when this is over with.
Oh, believe me, I'm already regretting leaving nature. Yep. Mm-hmm. Been regretting it for a while.
Yeah, me too.
I look at him and say, their sins will sink in the foaming deep. Umiya will judge them now. They are Umiya's now.
Well, someone's poetic. I just like being outside.
Regardless, the warden comes back with 2 horses and Kara.
The moment Kara comes into view, like I would just literally like jumps forward and just like embraces the bear. Like there is no holding him back.
Hogan's a step behind. Oh, she's a pretty one. Look at the coat on this one.
Oh, he's gonna nod and say, yeah, Keeper Elsa helped nurse her back to good health on the travels up here. Those two form quite a bond.
I was too busy, like, just shoving his face into Kara's coat. Just nothing can be heard.
He looks, or rather, the scribe is going to say, and the caravan. He's gonna shake his head and say, we had to detach it. Whatever that thing was, it was fast. Rosero nods and says, I understand. We have to be leaving by nightfall. So, with that, we will be out of your hair. Before you guys can walk off, the keeper steps forward and says, no. If these prisoners are going someplace, we can accompany you. He's going to shake his head and say, no, I'm sure that's certainly not necessary. Why, we already have 3 wonderful guards. He's gonna gesture and say, but there's 6 prisoners. There's no way that you guys can keep them contained.
I'm gonna...
No, that's my job.
I'm gonna look at the orc and go, really? Jeff, how big is your character? Is he a big burly guy?
He's pretty big. He's not like full-on biggest half-orc you've ever seen. Anything like that. He's actually a little short for a half-orc, but he's still 6'3".
He's bigger than me.
He's going to step up to Ogun and say, I've seen these people in action. They're wild, reckless, no plan, but there's a lust for blood in them.
You have not seen me in action.
Uh,
How do I get it to roll without doing the advantage thing?
I will open up your sheet and let's see, Ogun, 3 strike.
Yep.
I moved you to the last page.
Okay.
There is a thing on the very right side of your screen that says roll quarry. Always whisper, and you can have advantage toggle. And then at the top of the sheet, you can choose to toggle it on or off.
Okay, cool thing.
At that intimidation check, he is going to laugh and say, I've seen these mountains claim many a bold man before.
I was born on mountains bigger. Runt.
Regardless, and Rosero steps between you guys and says, regardless, they have agreed to work with us. For that, we'll take their word. The keeper points at you guys and says, we're going to wait out some of the harsher weather, but you can bet we'll be on your tracks after that. Rosero looks back at Nykirin and says, harsher weather? Nykirin shrugs and says, this is why we don't do jobs in the mountains. We need to leave and get in front of it before the worst of it sets in. If we can't, if we have to be out of here by nightfall.
I got a nature roll to figure out this weather situation.
You can. A 22. You had a pretty decent traveling weather coming up here. You guys arrived here later this morning, about the same time the prisoners would have arrived. While it does seem that things in this region are getting a little bit worse, one thing to take note of is that living on a mountain, biomes can change just from how the wind hits the mountain. So a step, 5 steps around a mountain can be the difference between a lush green area and a like a frosty, icy area. So one side of this fortress is completely, encased in ice and getting the harshest part of the weather. But the mountain is breaking it on another side. So if if this weather is setting in, you guys are still going to be able to find safe places to camp. It just, means traveling in a longer route than you'd normally take.
Okay. Well, General says he wants us out of here, and I don't feel like hanging around all these boxes and buildings things, so let's go.
All right. Where to?
Looks at the rest of them. So, Elena, which way?
All right. So, as you look at the rest of them, the scribe is going to say, clearly it was only Nykirin who knows what she was doing or where she's up to. I think we should send the rest of these prisoners to be transferred to a prison in Guir and have Nykirin travel with you guys.
Nope. Keeping all of them. They can be arrow bait. Or at least try to stab Elaine. I think they're motivated. Pokes, he wants to stick a dagger in. I might help him.
Nykirin is going to say, whoa, we're not dressed to go to the Earthfire. That's where she said she was headed.
Okay, out of character, dressed to go to the Earthfire. What?
Nykirin said she was not dressed to go to the Earthfire. Once again, on that mountain ecology and like biome.
Okay. So they don't have mountain green gear, basically.
Yeah. The mountains are going to shield much of the like worse weather. But traveling, to the Earthfire, you're going to have to be traveling between mountains where you're not going to have these pockets of like shielded terrain. In those pockets, it is horrendously cold in Ardersarai. And you can kind of see that in the pictures we have in the back there, kind of representing how Northwind is built. That the most like fortified part of the structure would be facing you know, the easiest area to besiege. While, you know, where the heavy winds and things would clash up from the bay would simply be just like a fortified stone wall of just, yeah, we don't even have to worry about that part.
Okay.
I mean, I do remember, you know, having to like plot a route to the fire, but you know, that's about it.
Is there a town? I know we just left a fortress, but is there like a town where we can actually get gear?
Yeah, there would be. This whole region is protected by Northwind, so there would be some small settlements out here. And when I say small settlements, I say I mean really small settlements, like between 50 to 80 people living at each one of these out in the mountains. Each one of them would be within 10 miles of Northwind.
Did we get the gold back and stuff from the other?
Yeah, the party had their belongings returned to them.
Yeah, so I took all the money and stuff and put it in my bag.
Alrighty, that was in each person's individual gear, so I'll have to go through and handle that later. But I am thinking for tonight, since we are Sans 2 people out of here, I'm thinking that's probably a decent place for us to end.
Cool. Fair enough.
I'm gonna give you guys experience for the last session as far as well, no, I'm gonna move. If you aren't baseline 8, you move to baseline 8 tonight for starting the party and heading off towards Elena. I'm gonna give you 500 for each of those events, so 1,000 experience for tonight. And
I'm sorry, I don't understand. How much would I get then?
You should be at 34,000 right now. You should move to 35,000.
Okay, thank you.
And your guys' next session is on the 28th. If you guys are able to and want to play a bonus session before then, if we can schedule something around everybody's schedule or most people's schedule, I would also be down with DMing a bonus session, as there is a little bit more content I wanted to hit tonight, but I don't want to drag on without Soulmane from this point.
I want to know what Rorak did after he flew away.
I was messaging Wesley on Discord about that. That's why we had to take that slight pause of just like, hold on, let me handle Roak. Roak never cared much for you guys.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, when you guys bid it in the... well, I'll talk about that off stream. Your next session's on the 28th, and that is where we will end for tonight.
One more thing.
Yes.
Alright, we'll see you next episode in episode 7.
Say it one more time.
The 28th is Memorial Day. Is that going to cause any issues for anybody?
I'm good to play on it. If we have to reschedule, I'm also cool with completely rescheduling. I know JD normally has a pretty packed schedule, but I can yell at him and get a better day for you guys. So I'll discuss that in your guys' group.